Good morning, one and all. We've made a couple updates per your request. A couple people have gone through, I should say a couple thousand people literally have already gone through the email management course. It is free. You can always find it at cultivatewins.com. Go to the store tab and you'll see that it's a free course. The course is 2 hours and 40 minutes. But the TC community, transaction coordinators, have been looking for examples of what folders people have come up with. So what we did is you're going to notice in the virtual whiteboard template and then also in your TC 101, if you come over to the TC email folder examples, there's links up above that you'll see there. And then 4 people went ahead and shared what they're using for folders. So these are 4 separate businesses of what they're actually using. And this particular example exists both in the TC 101 toolkit and in the transaction or the virtual whiteboard template. And what it is the first one is from Joe Scanlon. Second is from Lindsey Bavaro. Next one is from Tanya, and the next one is from Ashley. And they have all gone through the course, and they've all come up with their own folders. Now, in the course, one thing I do talk about, I'm not... I think we come at this from a different perspective, some of us. I don't really get into, I want to know what everybody else's folders are, but I understand that we all think a little bit different. Some people just need that inspiration. The way I like to do it, and I think I mentioned in the course, is I think of it as a 6-week cycle to figure out what my general folders are going to be. So I think you could actually combine these two. So using these examples, plus doing the 6-week routine that I talk about in the course, which is basically this. Go ahead, look at these folders, kind of get what you want your general folders to be. But for me, a typical transaction takes between average 4 to 6 weeks to close. So what I do over a 6-week period is I really pay attention to every email that comes in and think about how would I categorize that email. And I just keep a little notebook by the side, and I go ahead and I come up with the type of category that I think that email will fill. Usually I'm going to come up with maybe 10 to 15, maybe 15 to 18, whatever it is. And then as I'm putting those labels down, or those folder names down, whatever you want to call them, I just put a tick mark, the 1, 2, 3, 4 / for 5. And I start seeing how many I have. Then I start seeing, do I need to add folders? Do I need to take folders away? That type of thing. Now, you are going to notice something that's on here most people have, and I'm going to use this as an example on my 6-week. What I have found, most people have like a new contract or new purchase agreement folder here. After I experimented with my folders, labels, whatever you want to call them for a while, that actually became 2 folders for me personally after 6 weeks. And that was because of this. Usually I've got a folder for new contracts, and it's in that folder if I have not processed it yet. So why would I have something in there and not just process it immediately? Because sometimes an agent will send me one email, but it may take 3 to 5 emails of them sending me this and this and this and this till I have everything I need to fully process that file, or at least enough in there that I can get it processed. Now, once I processed it, I still may have some work to do on it, but it is processed, it's out, it's now in compliance, it's to the lender, it's to the closers, it's to the title company, it's to the attorney, it's copies are sent to the customers, whatever else I need to do, but I know there's still a little bit of follow-up or things that I'm waiting on, so then I have a second folder. So one is called New PAs or New Contracts, the other one is New PAs or New Contracts - follow up or follow through. So what goes in that folder, anything that's in the new PA, are things that have not been processed yet. Now, if it's been processed, I remove it from there and I move it to the next folder. Now, what do I save in that next folder? Not all those things. Maybe there's an email in there that says I'm still waiting on something. I might move that up into the follow-up folder. But really what it is after I fully process it and send it out, I'll go to my sent folders, grab that email that I just sent to fully process it, and I'll put that in my follow-up folder. Now, why would that remind me what I need to do? because when I sent the file out and I fully submitted it, I include in every file that I submit what I'm sending, and more importantly, why would I tell them what I'm sending? I don't even care about that, quite frankly. I just do it because it's kind of standard practice. What I care about are the notes that I put in the file that I submitted that clearly states what is missing. I always want to know what's missing, when can they expect to receive it, and then I tell them who owns following up on that. Do I own it? Is one of the agents going to get that? So those notes are included in every file submission. Now, because they're included, I now can put that in the email follow-up, and that reminds me exactly, I have fully processed it, and here's still what we're working on. That's just the way I work. So that becomes, that one folder now becomes 2 folders. Same thing with compliance. I used to have a compliance folder, which I notice a number of people here have as well. And then I have a compliance and then save to compliance. So compliance means that I've got some work to do on compliance for this particular file, email, whatever it is. Now, once everything has been completed, everything's been shared, when I'm done with something, I don't immediately go to compliance and go save things, okay? It just needs to get to compliance prior to closing. But I'll usually empty my compliance folder once a day or once every other day. And once I'm done and there's no more work required of me, I will put it in my compliance save to folder. And so that just reminds me that everything is done with that particular compliance issue. And now once I am in my time blocks will tell me how often and when I'm actually handling all my compliance issues. So I just want to encourage you, use these as examples if that helps you. But for me, what I do is I don't assume that I have what's really going to work for me until I've gone through about 6 weeks of using it and changing it, editing it. And this is a living, breathing tool. So I can change the folders. Sometimes I've got 2 folders and I decide, you know what, those really could be summed down to 1. Sometimes I've got 1 folder and say that would be helpful if I broke that into 2, because it's kind of 2 stages of it, like the new contract follow-up, compliance versus compliance save to. So those are just some examples. Doesn't mean it's right for you. The other ones, I have 2 closing folders. One is closings, anything that deals with closings that I have to get done for closing or anything else like that, and then closings to schedule or scheduling closings. So I might go ahead be working on scheduling some closings. I get a closing notice from my title company or attorney, and all I have to do now that I have it scheduled is actually put it on the calendar. I don't go put it on the calendar the second it comes in. That's something that I'm time blocked to go put those on my calendar. So my time blocks tell me a lot of what I do. So anyways, in the description of this video, you will see the links to both the TC101 tool and spreadsheet, and then also this template for this virtual whiteboard. So I hope that helps all of you guys. The only question I really get on this virtual whiteboard is this summary sheet. They're like, hey, this summary sheet doesn't link up with anything on my whiteboard. It's not supposed to. Basically what it is it's a 2-step process. You're going to take this whiteboard, you're going to create your own, go up to File, make a copy, and then rename it and save it to your own drive. Once you've done that, you can edit all of these columns, edit the drop downs, all that kind of stuff. And once you have the columns in the places that you want them, that's when you'd go to the summary, and then you go to whatever category, change it to whatever you want here, and then you'll notice when you go to this category will be a formula up here. Then you edit that formula to pull from wherever it is on your whiteboard. So that's how you use that transaction summary sheet. And I think that's about the only question I really get. Tons of resources on the resource page, by the way. Lots of great links there. And then down at the bottom is going to be a couple of folders take you right to my Google Drive, and you can see some examples of actual task lists from actual working organizations and companies out there, what they're using for a task list. I never want to state that mine's the best, because mine was based on the level of service that I was providing and the way I like to do business. That doesn't mean that it's right for you. So you can go to these folders and look at a lot of different examples from other companies other than myself. Hope that helps you guys, inspires you guys. If there's anything I can do for you, feel free to reach out to me. And then don't forget, throughout here are a lot of links, but even on this email folders template tool, you'll see that there's the Cultivate Wins YouTube channel, there's the free email management course, there's the TC 201, TC 101 courses, the membership links, all that stuff. Hope this helps, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.